What it do, my Israelite family? Brother Judah Israel. For those who don't know me, got a word I want to share with the people. And it's about this, I'm going to call it Israelite family. What's up with this new Black Panther dude? He been kicking out a whole lot of rhetoric, y'all. And Puerto Rican dude at that, he's not even black. And if they do have a chapter of the Black Panther Party in Philadelphia, why is a Puerto Rican why is he the chairman of the Black Panther Party in Philadelphia? He's not black. And I heard him, Paul, whatever his name is, he was saying something about, the Black Panthers from back in the day, and he was trying to say that they was, standing with everybody around the world. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale formed that in 1966 because they got tired of police brutality. They had a 10-point program, so whatever kind of program they got now, I have no idea. But them brothers back in the 60s, they had a 10-point program, and it was talking about, freedom. A lot of stuff that they were dealing back then, we don't have to deal with now. They were talking about they wanted to be free, full employment. We're not dealing with that today. Employment and stuff, housing, and they was talking about, self-motivation, education and stuff like that. And talking against police brutality and stuff. But they had a plan. It wasn't that they was just on the streets with guns, spitting rhetoric to police officers just for the heck of it, like this jackass is doing today, out there in Philadelphia, call itself, gonna shoot some ICE agents in the chest. That's a terroristic threat. I got a couple of short videos I want to show y'all too, to make my point. You know what I'm saying? But, it's like, none of those people stood with us when we were asking this government for reparations that we so rightly deserve for all that we have been through in this country. No groups, as far as Asian, Puerto Ricans, Africans, nobody has stood with us without, advocacy for reparations that we so rightly deserve. And now they want to undercut us, and trying to call us to stand with illegal migrants that don't even supposed to be in this country. They don't have any rights. They're not supposed to be here. See, this dude out there in Philadelphia, he's a Puerto Rican. So he, this migrant issue with ICE, that's his concern. You know what I'm saying? But he's trying to wear the beret and the Black Panther, garb, and want us to come stand with him about their situation with ICE. But that has nothing to do with Black Americans, foundational Black Americans. What ICE is doing with illegal immigrants, I hope they round them all up. They shouldn't have ever been able to come in here illegally anyway. You know what I'm saying? So what he needs to do, he needs to take that beret off, take that Black Panther jacket off, and go stand with his people, the Hispanics, and protest peacefully with them, because that's their cause. But see, he's trying to wear the Black Panther, clothes and outfits and stuff, and want to try to draw us out there, to stand with their cause. It ain't gonna work like that. They never stood with our cause about asking for reparations. The Black Panthers from back in the day, they stood with groups like the NAACP back then, the Urban League, Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, Southern Christian Leadership Conference with Dr. King and them. But they did not stand trying to defend illegal people in the country. That was never what the Black Panthers of old was about. As a matter of fact, when they started it, they said that they weren't accepting any members to be a part of the Black Panther Party who had a felony conviction. They wanted to do everything by the law. That's what it was all about. Not breaking the law, not supporting people who breaking the law. Oh, it wasn't about that at all, like this clown talking out there in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? I mean, check this out. Now, this is a short video of this Somalian dude talking about how he, will pop some ICE agents if they come around him again. And I think the FBI, after he made this video and posted it, the FBI investigated him. And I think he got locked up for it. I don't know if he's still locked up, but he should be. This dude right here. Y'all know it.
I actually heard you guys pulled up the old Honda, the big old, and you were pulled up when I was not there? Oh, so puss that boy. You're gonna get popped next time I see you at Frick the whole cavalry.
He's talking about popping federal ICE agents. That's who he was talking about, popping federal ICE agents in Ortona, Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Then he apologized because the FBI got on him. That's a terroristic threat. You know what I'm saying? But this clown right here out of Philadelphia.
Running for me. I guarantee you that when I put a hole in their chest the size of a window, safe line repair, safe line replace, that's what'll happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. You think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here?
You see? You see, he's making terroristic threats to federal ICE agents himself. But why come they haven't investigated him, the FBI, and locked his butt up? You see, he might be a part of the Black Panther parties, but since they ain't bothering him, he must be working for the feds, trying to draw our people out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because, they're the ones who was crazy about their white status. They were invited over here after 1965 during the Immigration and Nationality Act. You know what I'm saying? Invited all those foreigners over here to get all the benefits that our people fought for. You know what I'm saying? And they was proud to be considered higher than Negroes. This is how Esau, taught them, this divide and conquer method. As long as the Chinese felt that they was over the Negroes, they would never try to hook up with us to try to get at the white people, who was oppressing everybody. As long as the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, and the Africans were considered higher than the Negroes, there will be no sense for any of those groups will want to come together with the Negroes and come against the oppressing white people. So this is about divide and conquer. And now that their kingdom is coming crashing down, like somebody done pulled the rug from under their feet, and they're all reaching for us, the people who they hated, all the while that they've been here, they're asking us for help. To me, that's an insult to my intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see this clown on TV or videos, it just put a bad taste in my stomach because they think they can play us like that. That's his cause. Those Hispanic people out there getting kicked out the country. You know what I'm saying? Y'all always wanted to be white. Call the white people to help you. Not us, the people that you hated. You ain't standing with us when we're asking for reparations. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? If he really want to put a hole in the ICE officer's chest, he need to bring his butt to Minnesota where it's going down at. Take your butt to Minnesota in South Minneapolis where it's going down at. And all that rhetoric he's spitting on video, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean you tough. Come on down here where the fire is going down at. In South Minneapolis, and you say that to them ICE agents. You know what I'm saying? See what they do to him. That's what he needs to do. But as far as him asking for our help, that ain't gonna happen. What are you expecting? Us to come out there and join with him with illegal immigrants trying to fight off federal officers? Then we're putting ourselves in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? And so we can look to him to be our leader. Is he crazy? I don't know what he been smoking, but he didn't have too much of it if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? All these people that all together had nothing for us so-called Negroes but hate since they was allowed to come over here. And now their party is over and they're looking to us for help. It was our people who marched and bled and sweated and died in the 50s and 60s to try to get us some rights. And then when we accomplished that, they adopted the Voting Rights Act of 1964. You know what I'm saying? With President Lyndon Johnson. And then right after that, in 1965, they come along with that Immigration and Nationalization Act, Nationality Act, and started inviting immigrants from all around the world to come here, giving them loans. They wouldn't let the Asians and the Africans and the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans have loans to open businesses in the white communities. They won't allow that. The white people told them, open the businesses. We're going to give you a loan if you open the business in the black community to take all the money and our resources from us so we can't come up. That's what it was all about. That's what it was all about, family. They gave them loans and stuff to open businesses in our company and our communities, I meant to say, in order for us not to come up. That's what they did. That was the plan. And you see, now the Most High let them have their fun, and He's the one bringing them down. He's the one bringing them down. And for any of us, His chosen people, go stand with those people who He's bringing down. That means we are going against our Father, Yah. Because He's the one got us on chill mode right now. He's in control of all this. And you got this clown out there in Philadelphia talking about the chairman of the Black Panther Party. Talking about shooting officers and stuff. Just because they trying to do their job to kick illegal people out the country. That's their assignment. And all these so-called sanctuary cities around the country, the police and the mayors and stuff in these sanctuary cities like Minneapolis and out there in Denver and stuff. But the people acting mostly crazy is in Minnesota. The state and city officials in Minnesota got the people inciting riots and fighting off federal agents and stuff like they doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm glad they're being investigated now by Internal Affairs, the mayor of Minneapolis and the state governor, Tim Walz. They're being investigated by Internal Affairs, and that's good. They should be investigating the chief of police too. And the reason why I don't like him, see, he's out of New Jersey, family. And he came to take over the chief of police position when somebody had resigned. He ain't been up here too long as the chief of police in Minneapolis. I think he came in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. So he has not been the chief of police in Minneapolis for a very long time. If I'm not mistaken, I think he came, it was either 2023 or 2024, recently. And what turned me off about him, because he hadn't been the chief of police, not even a year yet, and there was an older black gentleman and an older white gentleman living on the same block in a particular area in Minneapolis, and they didn't get along. This older white guy and this older black guy, and they was always feuding with each other. And one particular day, this older black gentleman, he was out cutting his lawn, cutting his front grass. And without any provocation toward the white guy, he didn't even see him. The white guy came out of his house and shot the brother while he was cutting his grass. And the Minneapolis police did not even arrest the white guy. He was still free for 3 days. Only reason why they arrested him, family, is because the neighbors, they started complaining. And that's when the chief of police told the Minneapolis police to go arrest him. But see, that happened because he's the chief. You know what I'm saying? If he was down about, being equal to all the citizens of Minneapolis, he'd have had that white guy arrested immediately. You can't just go around shooting people just because you don't like them. And so ever since then, I just don't like that guy. Chief O'Hara. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like him. That lets me know he's racist. You allow a white man to shoot a black man down while he cutting his front lawn, and you don't have him arrested until the neighbors start complaining about it? Ever since then, it's like, so I think that jumped off in 2024. Could have been early 2025. But like I say, he hasn't been the chief of police up here very long. He came out of New Jersey and took over the police chief position because somebody else had retired. You know what I'm saying? But I used to tell my family back in the early 2000s, family and like some of my partners I kept in touch with from back in the day. And I told them way back in like 2004, 2005, I said, if you ever want to come to Minnesota, hey, you better be done with breaking the law. Because up here, them cops don't play. You know what I'm saying? And, because I was amazed and appalled about how many people that they was killing every year, not just Minneapolis, the whole state. I'm like, wow. I'm like, man, I'm from a rough city of Gary, Indiana. I left Gary in the early 90s and all my years there, as rough as that city had always been, the reputation it always had, but, it was a rare thing for police to kill any of the citizens in Gary. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but up here, oh man, it was like every year the police was killing somebody. I'm like, wow. And then when George Floyd jumped off and the George Floyd incident jumped off and they killed him. And then I was talking to one of my main partners from Indiana, and he reminded me, he said, man, you told me years ago, man, them cops don't play a minute. I said, I told you. He said, yep, you told me years ago. I said, it's still happening. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but anyway, family, it's like, these people, I mean, and as far as like this clown out of Philadelphia, supposed to be the chairman of the Black Panther Party over there, where was he when George Floyd got killed? And I just recently started hearing about him, and I've been on YouTube more than I'm watching regular TV. I've been mostly watching YouTube stuff, watching other people's channels and, animal shows, all kind of stuff. So I'm always on YouTube. I got 2 phones on my TVs. I'm always on YouTube, but I ain't never seen him, this Philadelphia chairman dude of the Black Panther Party, until within the last few days. Where was he when George Floyd got killed? Where was he when Breonna Taylor got killed? Where was he when Sandra Bland got killed? You know what I'm saying? And he wants us to stand with illegal immigrants against the federal agents. They're just doing their job. I stand with them on that. And I ain't going out there, but I'm saying it's like I stand with them because I'm a law-abiding citizen. You know what I'm saying? Illegals ain't supposed to be here no way. And like I mentioned before, we didn't ask them to come over here. We don't owe them nothing. I wish I could have a one-on-one with that, that Puerto Rican clown. You know what I'm saying? He's not our people. There were no Puerto Ricans in the Black Panther Party during the 60s and the 70s with Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale and them. There were other groups like the Puerto Ricans. They formed their own thing. It was called the Young Lords. The Young Lords, and they did their own thing. You know what I'm saying? And how could the black people in Philadelphia, a part of the Black Panther Party, allow a Puerto Rican to lead it? He's not one of us. You see, he's trying to get us to come out there and stand on, some illegal stuff with illegal criminals and illegal citizens that ain't even supposed to be here. And he talking all that rhetoric like he trying to convince us that, man, I don't care, how much information you know, how much you know about the law. You know what I'm saying? Are you serious? Are you really serious? You have the audacity, to try to be luring my people in the streets to go against federal officers. He must be a Fed. If not, that's his cause, but he should be investigated for saying stuff like, I'm going to put a bullet in their chest. They investigated and arrested that Somalian dude who said that he was going to kill some ICE agents. This clown, the head of the Black Panther Party in Philadelphia, he said the same thing. I'll put a bullet hole in ICE agent's chest, let him come up on me. So the FBI need to get on him. That's a terroristic threat. You talking about killing federal officers? You dig? You going to federal prison for that. ADX Max in Colorado. ADX, here you come. Or Terre Haute Penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana. That's a level 3 federal prison right there. Where they executed Tim McVeigh at. Where they got that dude that killed all them people in that truck. What's that young crazy dude went in that church in South Carolina and killed 9 black people praying? Dylan Roof. They got him down there in Terre Haute federal prison. You know what I'm saying? So this dude out there in Philadelphia talking about killing federal officers, you know what I'm saying, and trying to draw us out there. Stand with him? Is he serious? I mean, these people just never cease to amaze me, family, you know, about how, to me, I mean, every time, you know, you got groups like Mexicans, Asian, you know, Somalians, as much as they have always hated us. And now that your kingdom has come crumbling down, Esau and the Psalm 83 nations kingdom is crumbling down, and the people that they always hated, you know, the most was us. Now they asking for it. To me, that's an insult for any of them to ask us for anything. They have never done nothing for us. Just a year or two ago when we was talking about reparations, all groups said we don't deserve nothing. All of them. I guess they think we don't remember this kind of stuff. Now, you don't get to undercut, you know what I'm saying, what we trying to stand on as far as reparations that we so rightly deserve, and have us come Now, y'all ain't never stood with us on nothing. And let it stay like that. Keep that same energy while your kingdom is falling down. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Trump, among other things, President Trump is still talking about taking Greenland and stuff. And then, you know, some of the countries in Europe then already sent some soldiers to Greenland. You know, soldiers from the UN or either the EU. You know what I'm saying? So Trump talking about hitting them all with tariffs and stuff like that. That's just some smoke and mirrors talk anyway. They ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, they just, you know, went into Venezuela, took, you know, their leader and his wife, call themselves taking over the oil industry. There hasn't even been any more talk about that. So everything they're doing is just smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make it seem like they got something really going on. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of smoke and mirrors and rhetoric. Just like this clown out there in Philadelphia talking. You know. So I'll be, boy. My goodness. They come over here because they were invited by Esau to get everything free. Housing, you know, food, medical, you know, all kind of WIC and, you know, room and board, everything they got for free. Offer taxpayers money like us. Free loans from the bank. You know what I'm saying? Even if they wasn't free, they still got loans from the bank to open businesses in our community, and they won't even let us do that. And now that the rug has been snatched from under their feet, you're asking the people you always hated for help? Ask the white people. They're the ones that y'all always sided with. Your white privilege, white power, your white status. Ask them for some help, as far as I'm concerned. Because we ain't stuck on stupid at all. Like I said before, we might have been born at night, but we wasn't born last night. Puerto Rican joker. You ain't no black. You ain't one of us. You need to step down out of the Black Panthers in Philadelphia. If I was a member over there, if I was a member in Philadelphia at that chapter of the Black Panther Party, just saying, you know, we ain't letting nobody in unless you're a Negro. Period. I ain't got no hate for nobody, but I'm saying, hey, stick with your kind. Get with your kind. Ain't no way Puerto Ricans, whatever kind of organization they form, will let some Negro come and even join it, let alone run it, be the leader of it. Our people are the only ones do some stuff like that, like these clowns in Philadelphia. Come on now. Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale never smarter than that. The Black Panther Party was never about standing with people committing illegal acts. It was not about that at all. They had food programs, helping kids eat breakfast every day. You know what I'm saying? Helping people with sickle cell and stuff like that. Helping people with their bills and stuff like that. That's what it was about. It wasn't just no standing out on the streets, going against police officers like that's, you know what I'm saying? No, it was not. That was not the main part of the movement. They had a 10-point program plan. They were saying, we want this now. But these clowns is like, just because you know a little law and you got a right to carry a gun, man, that don't mean who you supposed to be, man? Who you supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? They let you rise above and be the chairman of the Black Panther Party in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? You know. But if I was over there, he wouldn't even been able to be a member. I'd have put my foot down on that. No. I don't care how intelligent he sounds. He's not one of us. He's not one of us. See, he's trying to use our people just for his personal, issues with his group out there fighting against ICE agents. And you brothers over there and sisters over there in Philadelphia, please don't let him play y'all like that. He's not one of us. His ancestors ain't never been no slave over here. We deserve reparations. I worked with Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around them in Indiana. They did their thing, we did our thing. You know, wasn't no beefs and nothing like that. Come on, man, all that old soft stuff, you know what I'm saying? Letting outsiders come and lead groups that was only about us. Ain't no way. If I lived in Philadelphia and I was a part of the Black Panthers over there, you know what I'm saying? Anybody who's not a Negro, if y'all insist on letting them join, then I'm getting out. You can't trust them people, man. When have we ever been able to trust any group in anything? I don't understand, man. Golly, boy. Man. But, the thing that he's trying to get accomplished, it'll never happen. But I thought I'd just come over here and say something, y'all, you know what I'm saying, about this. You know what I'm saying? It's just an insult to my intelligence to hear people like him being a part of something that didn't have nothing to do with Puerto Ricans. It was all about our people. That's why they formed it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they stood with groups like the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, you know what I'm saying? SNCC, the Urban League, NAACP, other black groups. And Puerto Ricans had their own group, the Young Lords. You know, if he wants somebody to stand with him and his people so bad, he needs to go hook up with some Latin kings or something. Tell some Latin kings to come out there and stand with y'all. Where they at? You know what I'm saying? Now, we don't owe them nothing because we didn't ask them to come here, family. I thought I'd just put my little 2 cents in on this, okay? So until next time, y'all, y'all stay safe. One love.